Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kevin, and I'm here with Sandeep, the co-founder at Polygon. Sandeep, welcome and thank you.
Yep. Thanks for having me here, Kevin.
Wonderful. We're very happy to have you here. Let's start off with sort of an entry one. How would you explain Polygon to a non-technical person that you meet on the street?
To understand Polygon, you have to first understand the basic thesis of Polygon, and which is that Polygon believes that for this Web3 world in which we are going from Web 2 to Web 3, right? So all the their existing applications that you use today, Facebook, Apple, all these things are called Web 2 applications, which have centralized application logic. Whereas like in Web 3, you have these decentralized technologies, blockchains, and like where there is decentralized trust and there is no single party managing the application. So in that Web 3 world, we believe that Ethereum is going to be the fundamental settlement layer of that world. And but Ethereum, being more decentralized and secure, is not scalable that much. So uh, you know so you need for in order to bring the next 100 million to a 1 billion users, 2 billion users onto this Web 3 in the next decade or so, we believe that there needs to be scaling technologies around Ethereum, and Polygon is a scaling system around Ethereum. Now there are other scaling systems also around around Ethereum, which are focusing on one particular technology. Like, let's say there are multiple different kind of routes to scale Ethereum, but then there are many of them are focusing on some particular aspects of it. What Polygon does is, Polygon is an aggregator of these all different technologies. It offers its own solutions, it collaborates with other such technology builders in the space, and then builds a platform where developers can choose. So that's a very simple thing. Ethereum is at the core, and around it, we envision a multi-chain Ethereum environment, which Polygon attempts to enable for the developers in a very simple terms, and like simple terms, but slightly more technical people who understand Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud and all that, where you can actually go and buy the servers there, server space, compute space, databases, and all that. So this, you can think that this becomes like a kind of a cloud service provider like Amazon or Google, but on the Web 3 space, and developers can choose their kind of execution environment that they want to choose. I don't know whether that was simple enough, but like,
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I'd love to touch very quickly. You hit on an interesting dynamic of Web 2 versus Web 3. We hear Web 3 used all the time, and you referenced it a few times and talked a little bit about it. But if Facebook is Web 2, what is our Aave and Compound Web 3, or what are examples of Web 3 that people can look at today in the world, and what makes them different from Web 2 specifically?
Yeah. So, I mean, although Web 2 also involves some parts of, like, Web 3 involves AI and some other technologies also, but I will focus on only these decentralized technologies. So why Web 3 is important? Let's understand that. Currently, all over the world, not only, not only on the institutions, but on the governments and like any kind of institutions, the trust is at a global all-time low, right? Like nobody really trusts any of these organizations. And the least these software providers, right? I mean, all the times you hear about data being stolen, you hear about these big, like Google, Facebooks of the world, selling your data to the advertisers, and then they advertise you. So basically you are the product instead of those being products, right? You are the product over there. Those kind of things are there with web. And then they also own centralized kind of authority on those applications. For example, you can be, if you are a gamer, you can be deplatformed from any game anytime. If you are a some media personality or politician, you can be simply banned from Twitter, whether you agree with it or not, and all these things. So we are moving. So Web 2 is a more of a centralized, institutionalized way of how human beings used to do business with us. There was always a third party in between, or a trusted party, and we always interact with him. Now with Web 3, especially in the decentralized set of things, what we are saying is that slowly these institutions will move into these decentralized environments, where there will be set of codes or set of rules how individuals are going to interact with this system. and those will be put on this decentralized environment like blockchains, and then people can interact with it without trusting any single party, without any single party singly owning the authority over how that system or those business logics will function. The community owns it, and I think that's the base aspect. And we believe that not it is starting with financial institutions. Eventually, all your kind of other technology products like Facebooks and Twitters and all these of the world are going to move to decentralized. You will find a decentralized Twitter which nobody can control. You will find a decentralized, maybe email service, maybe social media, and eventually the long term thing can be that even the nation states, like this is again a very kind of far out kind of prediction or something, but many people here in the Web3 space, in the decentralized technology space, also believe that this has a potential, crypto has a potential to kind of disrupt the ultimate institutions in the world we live, which is the nation states, right? So they can disrupt and create these cloud communities, and then these cloud communities can provide various kind of the way nation states provide services to its citizens. Like government is essentially is supposed to provide services to its citizens, right? So which includes security and everything. So you expect these cloud communities to work, but it's a far out dream. It's nowhere close. But yeah.
Oh, it's a phenomenal vision. And I love the idea, even in the first iteration, of starting to shift the balance from consumers are the product to consumers now consume the product, and they just show up and use it as they would. So you also mentioned along the way that Ethereum is sort of the core of everything. And our audience definitely will have heard of Ethereum, Polkadot, BSC, Solana. How do you see this landscape of layer ones evolving over the coming 1 or 2 years? I mean, is it going to be one chain to rule them all, or is it going to be, or so, how do you see this working?
So in the short run, I believe that there will be multiple chains, but in the longer run, as I said, that our thesis is that Ethereum, the network effects and the kind of perfect storms Ethereum has had to reach this level, those are very, very highly unlikely to be replicated by any other layer one. Like Ethereum, for example, has had, like, it's been there for last 5 years. 95 to 99% of all the developers in the blockchain space, when you speak to a blockchain developer, essentially he's an Ethereum developer, right? 95 to 99% of the people who develop something on blockchain. And like 95 to 99% of all the applications are built on Ethereum. And like it has eventually reached a place where Ethereum as an asset almost acts like money within that core ecosystem, which again fuels the building of these decentralized financial ecosystems on top of Ethereum. So we believe that in the short run there might be multiple layer ones, but in the longer run, Ethereum is going to sustain, and the network effects and all these things that Ethereum has, the tooling, the developer community, and the ethos, like the ethos of the Ethereum community, essentially and fundamentally separated from any other layer one. Most of the layer ones are like Polkadot, Solana, all of these, you name them. They are more being built like some sort of like organizations. But Ethereum, with Ethereum Foundation being there, they have been very kind of very community centric ethos that have been built into the Ethereum Foundation from very start. And due to that, like people like me, like I came into Ethereum in 2017, right? And people like me, my other three co-founders, extremely smart people, top of the pyramid people, and thousands of such people around us, they work on Ethereum like it is their own product. Like I don't see even a single, I've never not met even a single developer who is passionately building on any of these other layer one solution, unless he is funded or grant provided or something by that some other layer one. But on Ethereum, people like people like me, people like my other co-founders, like we work 20 hours a day to kind of scale Ethereum. And this kind of passionate kind of community building is like kind of a perfect storm for Ethereum, and some good things that Ethereum Foundation laid as the foundations. So yeah.
That's really compelling. And then, well, even if we look within Ethereum and in the context of scaling, there's like a wide range of approaches that our audience has probably heard about, optimistic rollups, ZK rollups, there's Polygon, there's other layer twos coming out. How should our audience think about these competing initiatives, or are they complementary, or how should they navigate these?
I agree. So, all of these technologies have various different kinds of trade-offs with them, right? And why we were previously called MATIC network, right, and we were building plasma solution. Like back in 2018, plasma was really hot, and then after that, optimistic rollups came in, and with decentralized state channels, so there were some projects with that. Then there were projects like there are Starkware, and there various different kind of scaling solutions have come and have been discussed on Ethereum. Problem is that they many of these solutions did not see the day of light of the day, sorry, and then like they became like they remain theoretical concepts, right? Like many of the times, what we at Polygon were very very clear that when we started with Plasma, we are going to deliver a POS plus Plasma solution, and then now and why we kind of then converted into or kind of expanded into Polygon is we realized that after speaking to thousands and thousands of developers in the space that there is no one solution fits all, right? And then every developer needs their own kind of services, only different kind of execution environments. So we realize that instead of being one particular approach oriented, we want to build a long term sustainable ecosystem which kind of lives for eternity, right? And for that we realize that we don't want to focus or don't want to go all in on one particular technology. We wanted to have multiple different technologies, and our good thing is that our foundation is like has been very cautious in managing its tokens and all that, and today we sit at a very high kind of treasury in the tokens and whatnot. So we are able to fuel multiple of such technologies. So Polygon, if you see, Polygon is not a technology in itself. Polygon is an umbrella brand under which we have Plasma, we have POS. We are now launching, very soon going to have some sort of ZK rollups. We are going to have optimistic rollups. We recently launched our, in fact, day before yesterday itself, I think we launched our data availability layer, which helps rollups to scale. We are also thinking around Starkware solutions. So as a suite, it will have multiple different technologies where it will either collaborate or build some of those technologies itself and then become bigger. For example, you asked that even like for example Polygon SDK, that Polygon SDK acts as a Polkadot substrate but on top of Ethereum. So you can on Polygon on top of Ethereum, you can have this Polkadot substrate like chains that are connected to Ethereum. Okay, so I mean it's like a aggregator model. It's not a Polygon itself is nothing. Like Polygon XOL is not a solution. Polygon commit chain is a solution. Polygon POS is a solution. Polygon data availability is a solution. Polygon rollups are going to be solutions. So these individually are going to be various different solutions instead of like Polygon. Polygon is an umbrella brand. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. It makes a lot of sense. And then to sort of bringing it back down to like what's out there today, I tried the bridge between Ethereum and the MATIC network, and that was super slick. And as I understand it, some of these scaling technologies like the ZK rollups might be incompatible, or you might require a bridge to move between them and the Ethereum chain itself. Can you explain to a little bit our audience how these bridges work, and importantly why, like how you see them functioning? Like once you have all these different solutions out there, how will people move between them easily?
Yeah. So, like you can think of this bridge as like both the chains have some computational capacity, right? So like this is like a Polygon chain, this is let's say Ethereum chain. So when you deposit your assets on this bridge, what happens is that those bridges get locked into a smart contract. And this smart contract then emits some sort of proof or a event, which then is caught by the actors of this particular chain, right? The layer 2 chain or side chain or commit chain, whatever you want to call it. And they see that, okay, this is a cryptographic proof of this event that is coming in, and which means that somebody has deposited this. Then in Polygon commit chain, there are 100 plus 100 validators. They kind of do a consensus between them that yes, this is a legit event on Ethereum, and then they kind of provide you that asset balance on the other chain. When you move it back, then what you do is that you burn those tokens over there, right? And then those tokens, once burnt over there, the validators here, they do a consensus, and every 30 minutes they put a cryptographic proof of batch proof of everything that has happened here. And when you are bringing it back, as a user with the UI, you don't have to do it yourself, but the UI basically is doing what is doing for you, is taking your burn proof and then coming and, after every 30 minutes coming to Ethereum and saying that, hey, this is my burn proof, I moved my $100 from this. And all of this is being done in a decentralized, trustless means like anybody could do it, but still you only will get those tokens. And third, in a cryptographic kind of way. So it is being managed by cryptography. It's not like some bank or somebody is saying to Ethereum chain that, okay, give this guy $100, right? No, it's like purely happening via cryptographic proof and a decentralized way, which in itself is a very fascinating. So yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, and I love that it guarantees that it's always 1 unit in, 1 unit out. So the system is always whole in this regard.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead a little bit to the end of the year. What's a good result for Polygon by the end of 2021?
Yeah. So right now, if you see Polygon, and many people still don't realize that Polygon commit chain after Ethereum, it is the second biggest platform, not Solana, not Polkadot, not any other layer one solution. After Ethereum, this has the highest amount of adoption, highest number of apps, highest number of developers working on it. And what we are like by the end of 2021, what we want to achieve is we want to, like, this is commit chain is one level of security solution, one type of security solution. We are launching other security other solutions like, ZK rollups, optimistic rollups, and all that. We have already launched after this commit chain, the data availability chain and the Polygon SDK. End of this year, we want to make sure that we have maybe, we are either live or are very close to being live on a ZK rollup, which we are really bullish on, and then optimistic rollups, and then, having Polygon SDK to be able to support full functionality what let's say Polkadot substrate supports.
Wow, it's a huge roadmap ahead. I mean, every one of those things is insanely complex and bleeding edge to.
It is. And then, like, it's a very, very legitimate question to ask that how are we even going to achieve this, right? But as I said, that right now, for example, our foundation sits at like $3 billion in token treasury. So what we are doing is we are giving these grants to many of these projects or kind of individual teams. So all these things are being done by very driven individual teams, and these are like almost like separate kind of you can think of, like, also yesterday I came up with this thing, like you can think of Polygon as a, a Web3 conglomerate, where you have multiple different kind of solutions, and it's like a conglomerate compared to, let's say, in the real world, if you want to compare with the real world. So it's a Web3 conglomerate, right?
I love it.
So
I love that you guys have been wildly successful. I mean, you are like seemingly the hottest thing going right now. Everyone's moving onto your platform, but you're still working huge days instead of being on a yacht somewhere with the and giving back to the community and still investing in the growth. It's really impressive to see.
My goal is very, like, I told my team that, like, now our goal is, because we came from a very humble background from India, nobody really trusted us. Like, initially we had very hard time raising funds because it was bear market and everybody thought that, oh, Indian projects, like, not that quality or scam, because they had 2 or 3 scams had happened. And but they had happened all across the world in 2017. But then, somehow 2-3 projects from India, became successful, but they came out to be scams and all that. So nobody trusted in us and all that. And then, we had a very, very long journey to reach this point, like, till, let's say, last December, although there was a lot of, pent up demand and everything had happened, but we were still not visible to the Western community. And then, it was almost a meme in Twitter that, people or the whole of Western community is actually sleeping on Polygon. And then, once we kind of did some big deployments, like Aave launched on Polygon and all that, suddenly, like, it exploded like anything, right? So, and then now people are like, okay, how did it happen in 6 months? But it actually took 3 years to happen in 6 months, right? So, but then, like, our, my mandate is very clear internally that, we want to be the number 3 platform in the space, like number 3 ranked project in the space, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polygon. And for that, it's a very, very ambitious dream, and we need to work hard. Like, we not even gotten started, I would say, because those
you're
are like,
well on your way to it. So for any of our viewers out there that might be new to DeFi and are interested in trying Polygon for the first time, hopefully they have a Kraken account that they can use to get the tokens, but how would you recommend they get involved and get started for the first time trying?
So, I mean, you need to have a, like, I would say that first, if you want to use Polygon, you should first be able to use Ethereum, right?
Okay.
So if you have a MetaMask wallet, you have used Ethereum, then you will use layer 2, right? So I would say the first step is first learn how to use Ethereum on chain, like not only trade on it, but, go set up a MetaMask account, have your tokens over there, try interacting with some D app and all that. Once you have done that, then you can probably use you can use wallet.matic.network, right? So it's a domain for our wallet, and there you can use, like, I think where you use the bridge, right? Like, you must have used the bridge there, that then you connect with your MetaMask. If let's say you have $100 on Ethereum, then you can experience that, okay, deposit $100 into this. And in your mental model, you can think of it like your Venmo. So Ethereum is your bank account, and then Polygon is your Venmo. So deposit into Venmo, and then when you spend it or you have remaining, you can bring it back or spend it over there. That's the simple idea.
That's super cool. Sandeep, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Huge fans of what you guys have built, and truly impressed with the approach and the ethos that you guys are bringing to the crypto community. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. And it's really an honor to be here. And then, I've been following Kraken for for quite some time. And you guys are the, biggest, kind of crypto platform for the Canadian and the North American citizens. And then, I think, thanks a lot for providing the support for making Polygon also available to the masses over there. So thank you so much. And yeah, very nice to be here, and thank you so much. Yep. Bye-bye.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much. I hope you have a nice afternoon, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you enjoyed the conversation, please like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.